Hello everyone and welcome to coverage of the very first Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour. My name is Riley Knight and I'm your host for this terrific tournament that we've set up to showcase the Dragon Ball Super card game with some champions that have been assembled from around the world. And in these unprecedented times, it is a fantastic way for us to celebrate our excitement for this card game, so it is wonderful to have your company. This is a special exhibition tournament that has been put on with all of the 2019 champions from every Dragon Ball Super card game region from throughout the world. Some world-class players will be engaged in world-class battling throughout this event, and it is very exciting. Now, this event is going to be a great opportunity, of course, for old, rusted-on players to share their excitement and love for this game. But if you're a newer player, welcome. By all means, welcome. This weekend will be a great way for you to cut your teeth on the game and explore what the Dragon Ball Super card game has to offer. The champions we've assembled for this event have been drawn from all around the world. We have every single Dragon Ball Super card game region represented today, with players from Italy, from Latin America, Europe, France, North America, Oceania, and Asia, all the regions represented there. But there is one final 8th slot that has been given over with a special invite to someone you may have heard of before, Hayden, also known as Eggman. One of the internet's preeminent players here has also been offered a slot as the People's Champion. But let's meet the players in more detail. Wang Po An is the champion from Asia, out of Singapore originally, and will be playing with Mono Yellow Garlic, a mid-range swarm deck. Diego Berthelot is our champion from the European region, from the Netherlands. This week he's playing an aggressive swarm deck with green Ginyu Force. Remy Huerta is the French regional champion from France, of course, and will be playing green Ginyu Force, an aggressive swarm deck. Lorenzo Zanuti is the Italian regional champion, and he's playing Frieza Army, led by Golden Frieza from Set 1. Jorge Gomez from El Salvador is representing the Latin American region, and for this event has selected Vegex, a mid-range deck with which to do battle. John Argaros is here representing the Oceanic region from Australia. He is playing a mid-range deck. It's Bulma Gogeta. Hayden Kalstonen, better known to his fans as Eggman, is here representing you as the Players' Champion. He will be representing the audience of this event. He is here with a very, very spicy deck indeed. It's a hand destruction deck with starter set Frieza. Brian Samuel is a North American regional champion from the United States of America, and this weekend has selected a mid-range deck to do battle with, bring green Gotenks to this event. Let's take a look at our bracket now as we see how this single elimination exhibition tournament will shake out, how our 8 champions have been assembled to do battle. For those of you who are new to the game, or maybe you need a bit of a brush up on how the game works, we've prepared a video to explain it all to you.
The Dragon Ball Super card game launched in July 2017 and is now played in over 40 countries around the world besides Japan. Experience the high-speed action of Dragon Ball. Recreate your favorite scenes from the show and assemble a dream team of beloved heroes and villains as you sling cards in galaxy-shattering duels. Characters from every era of Dragon Ball are all here. This incredible cast of over 360 characters gets the superstar treatment with beautiful artwork and collector's cards that have to be seen to be believed. Sound fun? Let's learn the rules and get you into the action. As we explained at the start, this is a special match. Normally, tournaments are held over the course of a year to determine champions for each region. Players win preliminaries at store tournaments in order to earn invites to the finals, where the strongest player in each region is crowned. There are also store and online tournaments for players of all skill levels, so be sure to check out the official website to find your preferred way to play. Now, without further ado, let's go over the rules for Dragon Ball Super card game. We're going to be searching for the Dragon Balls along the way. Once we collect all 7, you'll be ready to fight. The Dragon Ball Super card game has 4 types of cards. Leader cards represent you in the game, which means you can only include 1 per deck. There are also Unison Cards, which play by slightly different rules from the other card types. You can tell Leader and Unison Cards at a glance, thanks to their use of CG artwork. There are also Battle Cards, which fight on your Leader card's behalf, and Extra Cards, which provide a variety of helpful effects. Both players place 8 cards from their deck face down. These are your life cards. Whoever reduces their opponent's life to 0 wins. When cards battle, compare the power values in the bottom left corner of each card. If your card's power is greater than or equal to your opponent's, you win. Win a battle against your opponent's leader to reduce their life by 1. Now for a look at the key skills on leader cards, starting with the most common one, Awaken. After you've taken damage and lost a few life cards, Awaken lets you flip over your leader to power up and turn the tables. There are lots of other leader skills out there. If you're curious to find out more, head online and check out the full card list. Unison cards are played just like battle cards, but with a twist. They interplay with markers on them. While battle cards are removed from play after they lose a fight, Unison cards only lose a marker. As long as they have markers remaining, they get to stick around and continue the battle. Mastering combos is key to victory in battle. When you attack with a card, you can combo with your other cards to provide a power boost to the attacker. The number on the left side of a battle card is its combo power. Use a card in a combo to add its combo power to the attacker's power. But remember, knowing when to combo on attack and defense is absolutely critical. The number in a card's upper left corner is its energy cost. This is how much energy you need to pay to play the card. Cards in your energy area are called energy. To pay a card's energy cost, turn energy sideways equal to the energy cost of the card. Notice the colored orbs circling the energy cost? This is a card's specified cost. When paying a card's energy cost, you need to pay an amount of colored energy that matches the number and color of the orbs. In this card's case, you need a total of 3 energy, 2 of which have to be green. Oh, and by the way, vertically oriented cards are referred to as being in active mode, while horizontally oriented cards are referred to as being in rest mode. Unison cards work slightly different from other cards. They have a cost of X, which means you get to decide how much energy to pay for them. Each energy you pay becomes a marker that goes on the Unison card, with each marker representing the amount of damage it can take. Unison cards have skills, which you can activate by adding or removing a specified number of markers. The more markers you need to remove, the more powerful the skill. So how do games actually play out? Glad you asked. Decks include 1 leader card and between 50 and 60 Unison battle and extra cards. After placing your leader card in your leader area and your deck in your deck area, it's time to start. First, draw 6 cards from your deck. This is your starting hand. You can shuffle any number of cards from your starting hand into your deck to redraw. After that, take the top 8 cards of your deck and place them face down in your life area. These are your life cards. Once you decide which player goes first, the game begins. Let's get this battle started. Frieza's here, and he's got galactic dominion on his mind. Each turn proceeds through 3 phases. 1. Charge phase. 2. Main phase. And 3. End phase. Frieza's turn. Charge phase. There are 3 things you get to do during this phase. 1. Switch all of your rest mode cards to active mode. Frieza doesn't have any cards in rest mode, so let's keep going. 2. Draw 1 card. The player going first skips this step, so on we go. 3. You can choose to place a card from your hand in your energy area. If you do, make sure to place it upside down to set it apart from your other cards. Frieza charges 1 card from his hand by placing it in his energy. Now for the main phase. During your main phase, you can perform the following actions in any order as many times as you're able. Play battle or unison cards in your battle or unison area. Activate card skills. Activate your leader card's awaken or wish skill. Start battles. Move to the end phase. Frieza decides to play a Dodoria battle card from his hand. As you can see in the card's upper left corner, Dodoria costs 1 energy and has a specified cost of 1 green. Frieza uses 1 green energy to play Dodoria. End phase. The player who goes first can't attack during their first turn, so Frieza's turn is over. Now it's Goku's turn. Charge phase. Goku draws 1 card and charges a card from his hand in his energy. Main phase. Goku uses his leader card to attack Frieza's leader card, which means it's time to explain how battles work. To start a battle, switch the card you want to attack with to rest mode. Then, choose the opponent's leader card, unison card, or battle card in rest mode to attack. Goku's leader card has a Burst 2 skill that activates when he attacks. It places the top 2 cards of his deck in his drop area and lets him discard a green card from his hand to draw 2 cards. Now, let's look at the 3 steps that comprise battles. Offense step. During the offense step, the attacker can choose to start a combo, activate skills, activate awaken on their leader card, and more. In this case, however, Goku chooses to do nothing. Defense step. Now it's the defender's turn. The defender gets to respond to the attacker by starting combos, activating skills, or activating awaken on their leader card. But Frieza also chooses to do nothing here. Damage step. In this step, you compare the power of the attacker and defender to determine the battle's winner. If the attacker's power is greater than or equal to the defender's, they win. In this case, Frieza's leader card loses the fight. When a player's leader card loses, the player takes damage and adds a card from their life to their hand. Goku now switches 1 of his energy to rest mode, plays a Son Gohan card from his hand, and uses it to attack Frieza's leader card. Goku then activates Son Gohan's skill. This skill lets Goku add 1 card from his life to his hand in order to give Son Gohan 10,000 power and critical. Offense step. Goku does nothing. Defense step. Frieza also does nothing. Damage step. Frieza's leader card loses the battle and takes 1 damage. And since Son Gohan has critical, Frieza doesn't get to draw a card from his life. Instead, he places a card from his life in his drop area. Brutal. End phase. Gohan loses critical, and his power returns to normal. Frieza's turn. Charge phase. Frieza draws 1 card, switches his cards in play to active mode, and charges 1 card from his hand in his energy. Main phase. Dodoria attacks Goku's leader. Dodoria's skill activates. This skill lets Frieza add a card from his hand to his life to give Dodoria 10,000 power and double strike. Offense step. Frieza does nothing. Defense step. Goku also does nothing. Damage step. Goku's leader card loses the battle. Dodoria has double strike, which means Goku takes 2 damage. Frieza now uses 2 energy to play the Unison card, Frieza Zeno Darkness Overflowing. And since he used 2 energy to play it, it enters play with 2 markers on it. Next, Frieza activates the Frieza Unison skill. This skill lets him discard a card to draw a card from his deck and adds a marker to the Unison card. Frieza has an extra Frieza Zeno Unison card in his hand. Anytime you have an extra copy of a Unison card, you can place it under the copy you have in play to add an additional marker to it. Frieza places the Frieza Zeno Unison card from his hand under the copy he has in play to add a marker, bringing the total up to 4. Next, Frieza attacks Goku's leader card with Frieza Zeno. Offense step, Frieza does nothing. Defense step, Goku also does nothing. Damage step, Goku's leader card loses the battle, so Goku takes 1 damage. But Frieza's not done yet. He now uses his leader card to attack Goku's leader card. He also activates his leader card's skill to send Dodoria in his battle area to his drop area. This lets him choose the Krillin card in Goku's hand and force him to discard it. Offense step, Frieza decides to awaken his leader card. The awaken effect lets him draw 1 card, switch one of his energy to active mode, and flip over his leader card to awaken. In so doing, Frieza powers up into Last Resort Frieza. Defense step, Goku uses Bulma from his hand in a combo, which has a special effect. When Bulma is used in a combo, she gets 10,000 combo power and draws Goku a card. Cards with more powerful combo skills like Bulma are known as Super Combo cards. Because of their sheer power, you can only include 4 cards with Super Combo in your deck. Damage step. The awakened Frieza leader now has 15,000 power. Since Bulma was used in a combo, she adds her power to Goku's leader card, bringing his total up to 20,000. Goku withstands Frieza's attack, and the battle ends. Any cards used in combos go to their owner's drop area. End phase. Frieza ends his turn. Goku's turn. Charge phase. Goku draws 1 card, switches his cards to active mode, then charges a card from his hand to his energy. Main phase. First, Goku uses 2 energy to play Vegeta. Next, Goku uses Vegeta to attack Frieza Zeno. In response to this, Frieza activates the counter-attack skill on Shocking Death Ball. Counter skills come in many shapes and sizes, but this one is a counter-attack skill, which can be played in response to, you guessed it, an opponent's attack. It negates Vegeta's attack, and even lets Frieza KO an opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less. Next, Goku activates the Awaken skill on his Goku leader card. It lets him switch 2 energy to active mode and flip his leader card over. Goku uses his newly powered up leader card to attack Frieza Zeno. He also activates his leader card's Sparking 5 skill. This skill draws him a card and also gives his leader plus 5,000 power and double strike. Offense step. Goku bides his time. Damage step. Goku's leader card has higher power, so it wins. And since it has double strike, it removes 2 markers from Frieza Zeno. Finally, Goku pays 2 energy to play a Bardock Unison card from his hand. And that's where our tutorial ends for now. Things are only going to heat up from here, so try the game out and experience the action for yourself. The world of the Dragon Ball Super card game awaits. Jump in and join the fun. Try the free tutorial app available on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. Check the official homepage and Facebook for the latest info.
We've assembled an all-star cast of commentators. Let's get to know the commentators you'll be spending this weekend with a little better.
Hello, my name is Azim Lone and I am one of the casters of this amazing event all the way from the United Kingdom. And I've been in DBS since the beginning, since it was released here in the UK with Galactic Battle, and ever since then I've been a competitive player. I've been able to judge a few events, I've been able to cast some great events as well, some big events, and I've also been a TO for some events as well this past. But if you do wish to follow me, I go by a Lone Collector, both on Instagram and YouTube, so hopefully you do follow me, it would be greatly appreciated. But hopefully you'll enjoy these games as much as we do commentating them, so see you then.
Hey, my name is Melvin and it is my pleasure and honor to be one of your casters here for the Dragon Ball Super card game in this event. I've been playing the card game since the beginning and I've been really enjoying the card game so far, but more than just being a player, I also do have a YouTube channel called Sensor Pop, which is a combination between the iconic Sensor Beam and Pop. Personally, during my free time, I love to play and try to find and discover interesting interactions between the cards to try to come up with a powerful combo. So I'm so excited here to see what the players have in store for us in this event, and of course to cast it and share it with all of you.
Hi everyone, I'm Aspira, a YouTube and Twitch content creator focused around ramping up new players into the game and showing the best that the game has. Dragon Ball has always been a part of my life as a kid, and to have it as a TCG in my adulthood is a dream come true. So here's to hoping that we can show you the best that the game has.
Hey everybody, my name is Brian, also known as Android. I started making content for the DBS card game probably a couple years, a little bit over a couple years. I was a faceless entity, but I've embraced being into the community and just being everything, or being in everything that I can. As far as this goes, I'm super happy to be in this commentary for this Battle Hour event and talking and being the face.
Let's get underway, my friends, and kick this tournament off with quarterfinal number 1, North America and Asia.
Why did you pick the deck that you ended up playing in the tournament?
It's a deck that I played a lot recently and I feel fairly confident it is recently improved with the expansion set that came out recently, and it's just a deck that is, I feel, very fun to play, and it's just the mechanics are very smooth and I really love how the deck works and how the deck is set up. So I chose this deck over maybe other better decks that have higher chances to win.
Which deck did you play and why?
I played Vermilion Bloodline, the Gotenks leader. I played it. I just feel it's a very, very strong deck, and it's well balanced. Again, it has my favorite card in it, has the Grim Reaper of Justice. So I just feel it's overall just a very strong deck.
Asia Rep Poe brought a unique deck based around Garlic Jr. This deck is all about manipulating cards with the Servant skill. These undercosted minions normally can't be switched out of rest mode, but Garlic Jr.'s Overlord skill gets around this by recycling servants to the bottom of your deck. Poe's game plan is focused around playing lots of servants to take control of the board and limit his opponent's options. Brian, the North American representative, uses a Gotenks deck with powerful Unison synergies. Though normally unable to awaken at more than 4 life, once a Unison card with 2 or more markers hits the board, Gotenks can awaken as early as turn 2, putting opponents on a very quick clock.
And round 1 was taken down by Brandon Samuel, but quickly clutched back in round 2 of the match by Poe taking it down, forcing a game 3 situation. Now we're in a situation where either win on both sides will decide who ends up going into the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be kind of crazy since we have a whole nother game to go. We had the back and forth for the first 2 games, and normally in this kind of structure, in a regular tournament structure, it's best out of 3, so the first person wins the first 2 games, they take the whole thing, or at least they take that match. And I think that there's a lot of things that come behind that. There's a lot of critical thinking, there's a lot of things that go behind the card choices and strategy when it comes to the third game. You you want to make sure you don't make the same mistakes in the first 2 games if you made any, or do the same good things that you did in the first 2 games.
Good luck, sir.
Exactly. A bunch of opportunities to finally understand what your opponents are doing and how to execute your game plan. Especially when we go see here, we have Brian charging his energy, putting the card upside down, allowing him to use that card as a resource to take costs for his cards, and then executing his game plan right away, which Gotank's left to do, play Goku, and on play, he's able to go search out a Union Fusion card from his deck, which sets up his entire strategy very, very well.
Your turn.
Yeah, I mean, this is really good. Not only that it makes it consistent, but it makes it nice and easy. For both of these players, Brian plays all green for as far as energy. The battle cards and the energy cards, or the extra cards, just to say, requires green energy. It doesn't really require anything else. It just makes it that much easier. So for those who don't know, that energy or that number at the top left of every card that isn't upside down being played, you have to pay that corresponding energy afterwards. So as the game progresses, we get bigger and badder cards and more exciting cards, or even just this very efficient Goku, and as well as this very cool field card, Nakdale Star, however you say it. The name to be looking at that top 5 and getting that the card that this really needs.
And here, post securing the first damage against Samuel, of course the goal of any Dragon Ball deck in the game, to lower down your opponent's life total to 0, and forcing Brian to take that card into his hand, pushing his life down to 7 and creeping him closer to hopefully getting into a winning condition.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you see these guys put their cards sideways, that means they're going to be what we call swinging, or at least attacking from leader to leader, or from battle card to leader, or battle card to battle card. And it really depends on what you want to do. Right now, we're early in the game. The leader at the top left doesn't go anywhere pretty much at any time. So we're going to be using that in order to attack one another and bring that 8 life to 0 and end up winning. And I think this is starting out to be pretty well. Now we're going to be seeing Brian use his Awakening effect. Very unique to him. He has a Unison card, the Vegito, that we're putting some markers on, a Unison marker, and then Awakening because he met those conditions. Very unique to this, and I think Garlic Jr. does have the same Unison as well as Awakening, which is really cool.
Of course, every leader in the Dragon Ball game having the ability to power up into their awakened state, and here providing more card draw, the ability to attack because they have higher base power, and being able to set a great comeback mechanic between whenever you take life, you draw cards from your life, so every time you attack, you draw additional cards. Here, being on the awakened side is going to give Brian a huge amount of momentum. It is a perfect line of play that the Gotenks deck does, especially now that he's able to pop away the Goku and find the remaining pieces he needs to go into huge fusion plays on his turn.
Yeah, isn't that crazy that the game is so close to the show and the manga and everything else, in which you get beaten down, you keep getting beaten down, and you take so much life, and then out of nowhere you awaken, and then you get all these special effects, and you come back and show them what's what, you know. And basically, you know, Poe's gonna be doing the same thing. Garlic Jr. is kind of a small guy, but on the backside, he's a huge dude with all these other effects, and it's really interesting how unique all the leaders are, and all the battle cards, and all the things that come with the Dragon Ball game, because they all sort of come together and really take the time to make a really good deck. And both of these guys are really good deck builders. As we go ahead and see exactly what I'm saying. See, he used the Overlord effect on his turn, drawing that one card, using the effect of that the special Garlic Jr. card, not only the one that he pays 1 energy, and then he pays 1 other energy for 30k. Monster. It's actually insane.
Of course, the entire Garlic deck being revolved around servants and overlords. Servants being cards that once they are in rest mode, they do not come out in your untapped step at the start of your turn, and the deck utilizing this with the overlord skill to send servants to the bottom of the deck to be able to draw more cards. funneling the engine, allowing you to really be able to get longevity, especially in this garlic deck where now Poe has a huge 30k critical indestructible meter on board that is going to be very tough for Brian to be able to get it.
That draw power. Nice.
Yeah, and that always calls true to the show. It's like a Garlic Jr. in the show, or really the movie. He's indestructible. He wants to be immortal, and it really shows here. While Goten's and as well as Vegito just throwing out so many cool effects with revenge, as in, you know, this blocker that we have on the field, when it blocks and it dies. Another thing, the Garlic Jr. in this case wouldn't, but any other battle card.
I will attack your elite
as well. So very, very cool for those effects as well.
Draw one. 15.
So now we see just a very standard set of turns between both decks, going back and forth, attacking with their leaders, drawing cards, attacking with their stronger battle cards. They don't have to worry about any destruction or anything like that. And here we're going to see Brian Samuel lined up to set up the Union Fusion plays that he's been setting up with his Goku for the last couple of turns. Between pulling up a Goten, he's playing them, and he has his board perfectly set up now so that when he executes this play, not only is he going to be able to draw cards from the Goten's ability himself of being played, but as well as with Vegito on board.
Trunks and Goten.
Super powerful.
Yeah,
top 7 for Trunks.
You get to draw a number of cards, getting just a huge hand yet again for Brian. And normally, with Gotens, we do a little bit more than just draw some cards, but actually KOing, which means choosing a card on the opponent's field and then placing it into the drop area, just making sure that
I will draw 2 for my leader, or 2 for my
Garlic Jr. does have that indestructible
and draw 1 for
it's not going anywhere. And Brian knows this, he's just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna go ahead
attack
and
your leader.
right back to your leader and try to do something damage.
25.
Right here we have a huge 25k swing going into Poe's leader, forcing Poe to take the damage, and of course this Goten's having a dual attack, meaning that it can attack twice per turn, making it a phenomenal on-curve attack, especially for the very cheap cost of 2 energy.
Yeah, it's really doing damage. As you can see, he's already at 3 life out of the 8 that they both started with. And Gotens does have that other keyword, dual attack. Not all battle cards have that. It can swing twice in a row, or at least 2 times it can attack in a turn. And yeah, that's doing some devastating attacks. 3 energy is not very much to work with, but Brian has made this deck, and Gotens is a deck that is very efficient in itself with that 2 energy.
Master Roshi.
And it's looking like it's paying off pretty well.
Play to Ghost Token.
And here we see the Gotenks using.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go.
So now Brian is in a clutch situation where his Unison has the ability to ultimate off and be able to not only burn Poe's life for exactly what he wants, preventing him the ability from potentially top decking a life-saving card from his life, but also ripping 3 cards out of his hand, meaning that he has very little ability to be able to combo out of the attack when Brian goes in to close out the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is just insane. Like, this is the thing
you choose the cards in hand. I just choose the.
I really want to get down to the.
You choose the cards in hand. I just choose one in life.
Usually the last effect, and this is definitely an ultimate effect, making sure that he can look at all of his cards in his life, and then making him place one into the drop area, just securing what a possible win.
I'll take away the Yamcha,
and also, just like you were saying, ripping 3 more cards out of his hand is just very, very devastating. Brian is taking his time.
2 cards in hand now, right?
He knows that he has Poe exactly where he wants him, and we're gonna take a look at what turns out of this.
I'll pay 1. Play Goku.
And here we see Goku, obviously setting up a position where he wants to get as much combo power in his hand, because like it or not, Poe still has a significantly wider board, giving him the ability to protect himself from taking damage if he's able to out-combo the amount of cards that Brian throws into his attacks, which means he needs to take as much ability as he can here to establish a huge amount of cards to be able to outpace Bo's board.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he doesn't end it this here, right here on this turn, I think Poe does really have a good chance to at least do some damage or do a little bit more than it appears to be, even though he's in a really rough situation. But I think with Brian putting down another
Top,
Goten,
seven.
drawing a couple more cards, looking in the top 7 because of the two Union Fusion materials, as in with these two cards, you need to have the same name, the same power. He's going to use these effects to get even more cards in his hand. But we're going to take a look and see how he actually ends it.
Draw. Well, Goten's ability.
So here
I
we do
will
see the abilities from the
KO
Trunks
your,
and Gotenks that he had pitched to be able to do a quick search on the top of his deck.
kill the
And
bomb.
now he's able to go set up.
Yeah, then I
an
draw
additional
2
draw,
for
drawing
Goten.
into the SCR Cell Xeno, which
draw
has a
1 for
hugely
each.
powerful ability that if you can sack off 12 cost off your board, comes in for free, rips 3 cards out of Poe's
how many
hand, and
cards
can
you have?
attack for quadruple strike twice.
And how many blockers?
Yeah, you don't call it a secret rare for no reason. It is exactly why it is only at 1. Every secret rare, you can only have 1 in the deck, and he just drew it. I don't understand how he did it, but he has it. And now that he has 5 energy, he can do the effect of ripping 3 cards out of his hand.
Reaper for
Go ahead
Sylvie.
and get out these 6 costs, there's 12 costs in total on the board to swing for the game.
What a game to close out the SCR ever so clutch, hugely powerful card.
So that was the match between Brian and Poe, Gotenks, and Garlic Jr. Garlic Jr. being one of the not so much played, but very much loved by me and a lot of other people, I gotta tell you. And a really interesting match. Again, the things that Gotenks does to control the match, to pop everything, gain control, and as well as all the blockers. And Vegito and Unison just played out into the Cell Xeno. Just a lot of cool stuff. But George, I don't know what you think. What do you think about that match?
A big grind fest like you were predicting at the beginning of the match, and it really just goes to show that Garlic has a lot more versatility than people give it credit for. Between the wide boards to the really big bodies, it has a multitude of facets that it can opt to attack in, and that's what we saw really excel in Game 2, that Poe was able to force Gotenks, old reliable, into a Game 3 situation. So absolutely powerful on both ends. Gotenks, though, the consistency and ability between the dormant, looping over and over again, to just the power plays of playing Grim Reaper's turn after turn, just naturally seemed to outweigh the advantage that Poe was able to make up.
What was the match like for you?
It was a very fun match that I totally enjoyed myself. I wasn't expecting much out of this event because I was playing a much inferior deck, but I tried to have fun and I managed to hit my target of having fun in this game, in this tournament.
Oh man, it was a grind. He was playing Garlic Jr., so I mean it was it's a new kind of leader. They got a lot of support with the promos, and just him being able to rest all my battle cards, and just it was a very weird matchup for me. I didn't realize that got as strong as it did with the new promo Garlic Jr.
And with Brian beating Poe there, that sees the American head through to the semi-finals with the green Gotenks deck. Our next quarterfinal features a champion from Oceania, from Australia. It is John Argyros on former Vegeta, playing off against the people's champion, Hayden Kalstonen.
Why did you pick it?
If you know anything about me, I've got most of what I play is I usually play green and hint destruction and that kind of way. And so we got an official starter deck that kind of pushed that idea, which after 3 years we didn't really have that. So I definitely want to jump on it, and it's clunky at times and really specific, and so it's something that I really wanted to try to be a specialist for it.
Why did you settle on the deck that you decided to play?
The reason why I decided to play the Bomber deck, I thought it was a pretty solid deck. I went with the Gogeta engine, where basically the whole gimmick is fusing the Gokus and Vegetas to play out really strong Gogeta, which then gets the ability blocker from the Bomber leader, giving all your Red Saiyans and Earthlings blocker as an extra skill. And the Gogetas can't be carried from battle, so it's a pretty totally deck.
The Frieza Deck that Hayden, the player's rep, brought to this tournament is a hand destruction deck that wants to sacrifice Frieza's loyal legions for advantage. Frieza's army can deploy from both the hand and drop area, making them nearly impossible to get rid of for good. Once the hand destruction engine gets going, you can almost hear Frieza cackling. John, the representative from Oceania, is using a Bulma and Gogeta deck. Bulma is only 5,000 power, considerably less than other leader cards, but she gives other Earthlings and Saiyans the blocker skill to provide a defensive bulwark against attacks. Even better, John's packing a Gogeta BR card that can't be KO'd. A nearly unstoppable defensive combo.
Best of luck, dude. Well, actually, you know, I'll take that. I wish myself the best of luck. I needed that for the first game. I'll start things off.
And we are jumping into round 1 with John piloting Bulma Gogeta and Hayden, Eggman, our boy, piloting starter deck Frieza.
Yeah, and this is a very unique leader in the fact that it has a number of effects. One of the first effects is that the fact that you can't include any Saiyan cards. Very true to the show again. Anybody in the bottom right hand corner with a character trait, they can't be in there if they're a Saiyan. And he does have a couple other things regarding the Frieza army cards.
And then you pop that
pitching one, taking life from his own life and making the opponent pitch, and then awakening and doing something similar, but in a more controlled way. So very, very cool. And putting some more pressure for the opponent and pushing some more critical on the Unison as well.
Here we see John executing the Gogeta chain at this point, which is a super powerful chain. Very strict to show. If you have two Gokus and Vegetas that have the same power level, you're able to pump out a hugely powerful Gogeta on the board. Here, using the abilities on the Goku and the Vegeta to be able to search top of the deck for any of the pieces that you want, allowing to evolve his Gogeta from the 5-drop into an ever more powerful 8-drop to put an absurd amount of pressure on his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, man, that thing is a monster. It doesn't really go anywhere since it does have a permanent, in which the effect it can't be KO'd, so you have to do a lot of other things, put it at the bottom of the deck, warp it, do something else other than KOing. You can't just attack it and take it out. But it also has another effect in which either the opponent attacks or that card does attack and minuses 20 from their attack power afterwards. So it can remove something if it goes to 0 or less, or it can just nullify an entire attack afterwards.
Absolutely, it gives a very powerful amount of options, and here we do see John evolve into the Gogeta, and now he's in a phenomenal position where not only does he have a fantastic, huge 35k double striking attack, meaning at any time Hayden takes damage or his Unison takes damage, he'll lose either 2 life or 2 markers, but like Brian just said, the added ability to constantly have be able to minus 20k any battle card or attacking card on the board is hugely powerful for board control. It's going to put Hayden in a really awkward position to not being able to establish board, especially since he won't be able to KO this Gogeta or deal with it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure what Hayden can do here. I'm sure he'll find out, but most of the time, with this specific Frieza deck, you're going to be trying to KO things to remove it, and I don't think he really has an answer for it, so he's just going to have to play around it, or at least do his best to get rid of it. And looks like that Hayden does go ahead and use the 1-drop Doria, and uses it to play it right off from his hand, I do believe, using 1 energy, and we're going to see what he does next, because this Gogeta is going to be a problem.
Your Bio Broly have the great utility that even though John can put a lot of pressure on it and try and kill it, having the ability to pitch a card will make it stick on board way longer.
Zarbon, for sure. And now we're taking a look at a really interesting situation. We didn't basically just got rid of his entire hand and now attacking with a 5k body. That's kind of unheard of. 5,000 is really not that much. Doesn't get very far in this game. So I mean, that's the thing where we're gonna see him try to combo out from there in order to make him take this life. And he went ahead and did that with the Bio Broly having critical and just keeping it going from there.
An absolutely absurd set of attacks here where Hayden is able to chain attack, hand destruction, removing any options that John had to be able to defend himself, giving him that clutch win with the 5k. Absolutely powerful sequence of plays.
Just insane. What a wild kind of game we have here. Right, so that was the match from Hayden and as well as John, with Hayden pulling out with green Frieza. Two very strong colors. We have a lot of different combos going on for both of the decks between hand control and blockers, and the Jiren Unison and the Gogeta fusion, and then all this other stuff going on. It was just really interesting to see that finish with the 5k Zarbon into the 10k Bulma leader with no cards in hand. What would you think about that, George?
This game was absolutely all over the map. This quarterfinal really showcased to us what both decks can do. We have the Gogeta lock, which was able to put so much defensive pressure on Hayden that at no point was Hayden really able to get in there with his typical closer. And Hayden trying to play those little game of advantages between hand ripping every single turn, and funny enough, like you said, being able to close out that game with that weenie aggro from the Zarbons. Absolutely phenomenal showcase of advantage on both ends, making for a very exciting quarterfinal match.
This one game went to all the games. I was gonna say game 4. I don't think that really exists. But if anything, I'm thinking about the next game and the next match, and to see a little bit more variance and as well as different combos. But I'm excited if you're excited, George.
Absolutely. Huge hype behind seeing which one of the North American representatives will be able to close out and take it into the finals. But with that, it'll be back to you, Riley.
What was it like for you? What was that match like?
Not gonna lie, I kind of plucked out on my last turns. Like, yeah, there's no way I can win this game. But apparently, I only lost by 5k, so that's a bit upsetting. But I guess it happens, you know. I guess hand destruction is not from the verse. It's just like, well, damn. Every time he asked me, John, how many cards in hand, he would just give me. If I said 0, he was not happy with that answer. If it was anything that wasn't 0, he's not in a good mood. So I just don't know what to say. It's like, well, okay, fair enough. It's 0 this time, I swear.
Oh, it was a crazy match, and definitely the second game for sure got really close. I'm happy to clutch it out, but I think that one could have gone either way for sure.
Hayden Cassinan taken out that game, and it was very clear that both players had a very good time there, but well done Hayden emerging victorious and moving through to our semi-finals. Our next quarterfinal features the champions from France and Latin America.
Why did you choose the deck that you decided to play in the event?
I chose the Ginyu leader and also the Ginyu deck. In every tournament, I don't play the top tier leaders because I think they are known by the players and they are prepared to face them.
What deck did you play and why?
I played the X in the same situation is Vegeta with his son. He's very fast, and I've always liked very aggro decks. I tend to get distracted with a lot of cards in my hand, so I like to finish fast. That's what I love.
The Ginyu deck, assembled by French representative Remy, is just as eclectic as its namesake. Attacking with the Ginyu leader lets you flip the top card of your deck and play it if it's a 2-cost Ginyu Force card. Each member of the Ginyu Force helps call the other members, making it easy to assemble the full team for truly galactic shenanigans. South American representative Jorge is using a Vegex deck that can dump cards into the drop area. This isn't a downside, however, as many of these cards can be played straight from the drop area to overwhelm opponents. Jorge's goal is to assemble warriors from across the multiverse to break through the opponent's defenses.
And we're off with the quarterfinals. We have Remy piloting Ginyu, and we also have Jorge piloting the Vegex leader. This is going to be an interesting round. What do you say, Melvin? How do you feel this is going to play out?
This is definitely going to be a very, very uphill battle for our Ginyu Force player. But I really think that this deck do have the dominant potential to take up the challenge. And it is going to be a very interesting matchup because Vegex is going to go aggro, while Ginyu player is just what he's going to do is he tries to swarm the board and try to contain the aggressiveness. So I'm not too sure how this is going to go, but it seems that we do already have the turn 1 play from both players. But we noticed that against such an aggressive player, it is such a pity that Ginyu does not open up with a Unison card.
Yeah, definitely there. And we do see that the Vegex, with its ability allowing you to pitch the top 5 cards of your deck and then draw a card, and if those cards that you see, the Trunks and the Vegeta, have their own effects, that when they are sent to the discard pile from the deck, they get played for free. So we just see Vegex and Jorge just flooding the field and gaining that first turn advantage.
Yeah, and Jorge's already been
and here we just see that we've skipped a few, and we see that Jorge is just running straight with the board. Like, his board is just overpowering now. Like I said, allowing you to play cards when they're discarded from the drop area, from the deck to the drop area, just for free. So you're getting that momentum going without using any of your energy. And it's unfortunate for Remy, like we see that he's got nothing on his board. He's probably just been aggroed down, he's just been attacked by all of Jorge's threats. It's a tough spot, isn't it, Melvin?
Yeah, definitely. And what I like about this interaction is how this card is being designed, ain't it? So in order to summon this card, what you need to do is you need to pick a Vegeta card, and you need to pick a Trunks card, and you have to merge them together just like the anime. And this is definitely going to be one of the shiniest and prettiest cards that we have right there, right? This is the old art version of the card, right?
Yeah, it's I can't remember its name. It's the Vegex card, but it does, like you said, it gets played from your warp. You use this card from the warp with the fusion. So obviously in the anime, it's the fusion that puts Trunks and Vegeta together, and it's exactly the same. Yeah, the exact same thing to get that card, which is quite interesting.
Definitely. However, with that card in rest mode, it's going to be another uphill battle for the Ginyu player, because Remy now has to damage the card, take that card out of this game before he can even do damage to the Vegex leader. So this is going to be pretty tough, especially like what you mentioned, a board. He doesn't really have a board, so his attack options, it's pretty much limited over there.
Very true. We see Remy just attaching in, so he cannot get the ball from the leader there as well. And we skip forward a little bit as well. We see that Remy has now built the board. He's been able to get that presence forward, and Jorge still has cards on his field, not as much as he did before, but this is now going into turn 3, turn 4. So, how do you think that? Do you think Remy's now hold it back a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. That is the power of the Ginyu Force leader, right? Because whenever he swings, he looks at the top card of the deck, and if it's a Ginyu Force, he gets to free play that. And some of this Ginyu Force member kind of plays against the other Ginyu Force to free play the other Ginyu Force member. So you can see that this leader kind of helps the other cards in all the other Ginyu Force members just to play it out, and it gives so much advantage just for the leader alone to play to have the full board over there. So this is a very interesting interaction from 0 battle card on the board in just one turn. He just turn the whole thing around. That is the power of the Ginyu Force leader. I really enjoy this deck, playing this deck. himself. And now we can see that the Vegex player has activated the leader's ability, which is to mill that 5 cards into the drop area, populate it, so that he can play some shenanigans from the drop area, right? So you can see that it hits Trunks, which is a blocker, and because it is Trunks, it has the ability just to do that free play. And we can see now the Unison card, it's going for the swing. I wonder. Whoa, and here we go.
This is super combo now. Yeah, so this is super combo, which obviously you're only limited for in a deck of super combos, but you can obviously mix and match them. This super combo, Vegeta, I can't remember its full name, but its effect is basically to put a card from your hand at the bottom of the deck and you draw 2 cards, and it gains a 10k combo boost. So as you can see, Jorge is now just literally piling on top, making sure that this attack can go through, as the Unison has a double strike effect in itself already, which means it's going to take 2 damage instead of 1. So here Jorge is just piling on the load. He's just going as much as he can, so the higher you go in your combo power into the 90,000, 100,000 if you can as well, you're just better your odds. And as you can see, Remy is trying to obviously combo out, but unfortunately he can't, which is smells disaster, and that is it's unfortunate. How do you think that felt down for him? Like we saw the power of Vegex in terms of how aggressive it can be, and what you said before as well, in the sheer force that it can just go out there. But unfortunate for Remy, we saw some great plays from him in terms of the game board. The Ginyu's out, getting the Ginyu force on board altogether, but it just didn't work out for him in the end, did it?
I definitely enjoyed the game because you can see that Ginyu Force was really trying, and we saw some really, more than just the exhibition of the cards, you can see the exhibition of the skill of the players that you can see. So with the Ginyu Force just flooding the board, making just the correct sequence, the correct choices of which cards to play, just when to combo, when not to combo, these are all factor into a really good match. I think we did get ourselves a victory. I really enjoyed myself, and so what a great start. It was a good quarterfinals. Really enjoyed this best of 3. Unfortunately, Remy was unable to overcome Vegex, but the sheer power of Vegex was seen here, and also the ability just to flood the board and to make sure that all the members of the Ginyu Force are on the board. It's also in full display here. Such a great match.
You just played against Jorge from Latin America. What was the match like for you, Remy?
The match was very fun, even if I lost the 2 games, and I think I had a bad matchup against Vegex.
It was amazing. Actually, here in my country, I don't think I have played against that leader. I think that this leader hasn't been exposed, or there are not a lot of deck lists out there that you can see or you can fully find its potential. But it's very, very nice deck.
Fantastic to see Jorge get up and take out that quarterfinal. He'll move on to the semi-final. Our next quarterfinal will be held between Europe and Italy. It is Diego Berthollet and Lorenzo Zanuti playing off against each other.
Why did you choose the deck that you ended up playing?
It's my go-to fun deck if I go to locals before the COVID-19. It's a different take because it's the only deck that lets you stack the cards on top of the bottom of the deck, which is really good because you can go to your whole deck and make sure you draw a card on a certain turn or something, certain things, which is really good, and that's what I like about it.
Why did you choose to play the deck that you're bringing to the table in the tournament?
I chose the deck because I expected a lot of aggro decks and I expected an aggro meta. So I brought the deck that I thought and built versus to counter aggro decks.
Right.
Diego, the European representative, is using a Ginyu deck that wants to deploy the Ginyu Force ASAP. Every attack by the Ginyu leader card lets you flip the top card of your deck. If it's a 2-cost Ginyu Force card, you get to play it. Assembling the full team is easy, since each member helps search for the others. Once you have the squad in play, powerful Bond Ginyu Force will end the game in a hurry. Lorenzo is representing Italy with a golden Frieza deck. Frieza is all about sacrificing members of his army to reuse energy and fuel massive plays. Many cards can be played or returned from the drop area for built-in synergy with Golden Frieza's sacrificial tendencies.
You can go when you want.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Good luck.
Charge.
Welcome back to Game 3 between Diego playing Ginyu and Lorenzo playing the set 1 Golden Frieza. The current score right now it's 1-1 to each of the player, and this will be a match point. So, can you tell me what is going on right here? This is turn 1 Dimigua Unison. This is definitely what what Diego wanted, ain't it?
I will play over round 6. Don't see much.
Okay. I think this is a pretty good move from Diego, and Lorenzo is pretty in a tough spot, like what you say, because with the overwhelm mechanics that we see just now, instead of playing, this comes with all the black cards, right? So instead of having to pay for the energy, which is the 6-drop energy, what you do is you pay with 6 cards from your drop area. As long as you have a minimum of 6 cards of overwhelm 6, you can play that card. The balance kind of just says that at the end of the turn, if you kind of play it with, you kind of cheat it out, this card will be gone from the battle area. It doesn't stay there.
I'll swing with Ginyu or Frieza.
No counter.
Cool. Okay, and I block up. I don't have another target to summon. Any response?
No response.
Done at Frieza.
Thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm comboing a guard at Great Ape.
Yeah.
That's Frieza. Look to drop again.
So, pretty hard. Right now we do see the appearance of War, the bottom War card Raider.
Great
This is
Ape
such an
card,
excellent. Yeah.
It is. I definitely agree because you combo it for 2 energy, and its effect is that once the combo has finished, you get to play it for free. Now this is a 4-cost card. It's got 20k. It has double strike, meaning it takes 2 energy, 2 life instead of 1. And it also has an inbuilt effect that you get to rest one of your opponent's cards and draw a card. So it's a very strong card and great play by Lorenzo. And we see that he is tapping down the Berto, which is also a blocker. So even though Lorenzo's on the defensive, we do see that he's playing. And look at that as well, the Putin coming down there as well. Again, Putin allowing it to be pre-played when a card on your opponent's side has been...
No counter. Frieza died.
I'll use the minor frame on the
so important just to have the Dimigua on board, ready to go, because of this powerful counter play that comes in and KO something on board. And we can see the ultimate ability of Frieza from being used right now to clear the board. Such an excellent turn from Diego, being given the first layer of the cards.
Wow, look at that. we jumped behind a few, but look at just that. It went from a very stalemate position between the 2 players to Lorenzo dropping down. The Big Daddy himself sells Zeno. Unspeakable abomination. What a card it is. That is absolutely insane. Would you not say?
Yeah, one of the most powerful secret rares right now in the game. It is a 40k quadruple strike stick, which means he does 4 damage to your opponent instead of 1. Or with 8 total life point. This is obviously a mega huge deal, right? But if that's not enough, powerful enough for you, this is played at 5 energy, at the 5 energy mark. And you can see the interactions over here. It is pretty nasty for Diego.
Yeah, definitely. Like Cell Zeno, in order for it to get its full effect, you need to have 5 energy. So here we do see, like you said, Melvin, Lorenzo has got more than 5 energy. And Cell Zeno, when it's played, if you have 5 energy, your opponent discards 3 random cards, which is what we just saw Lorenzo rolling the dice to pick out 3 random cards. On top of that, Cell Zeno gains dual attack, meaning it can attack twice in one turn. So it not only being a 40k quadruple strike.
Yep. I'll think about it. No combos.
It's also got dual attack and removes 3 cards from your opponent's hand. Now, that's not insane. I don't know what is.
Yeah, but more than just that, Azim, you're a collector. What do you think about the artwork and quality of this card?
Absolutely incredible. Like, it's probably one of my favorite cards, and like you said, it is probably one of the best, if not the best, secret rare in the game at the moment. And yeah, it holds a special place for me. Like, it's such a great card, and like you see here, competitively as well, it's definitely a great card. And here I was saying he would do dual attack, being able to attack twice. His first attack was blocked by Roberta, and now the second attack is most likely going to go through.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so we do see kind of combat.
Yep.
And there we see Lorenzo, our Italian representative, the Italian champion, because that deck, oh my god, he really showed its ability there. What a fun deck Ginyu Force was. So what do you say, Melvin?
I love the Ginyu Force mechanics, and this is one of the casual decks that I do play myself because I have huge love for Ginyu Force, and also the mechanics itself. It's so fun. What is interesting here is that we saw Lorenzo making a switch in playstyle after he had a taste of Ginyu Force, the power of Ginyu Force in turn 1. So you can see there is a switch of playstyle for Lorenzo. So big props to the players who changed their playstyle on the fly just like that. Really just amazing deck just to watch. So Ginyu Force have learned I hope that they learned their lesson.
Diego, you ended up with the short end of the stick. You did win the first game. Walk us through it. What was it like for you?
After that, game 2, he surprised me with Salzino before turn 5, because most people play it on turn 5 so they can disrupt your hand, but you can also play it earlier, then it still has a quadruple strike, so he really surprised me. So he killed me early on game 2, eventually played Sal, which was the correct play on his part, and destroyed my hand, and killed me eventually with the Sal secret rare.
Lorenzo, what was it like for you in that match?
Very difficult game. I was under pressure within the first game, and he surprised me with his version of the Ginyu Squad deck with Ginyu Leader. It was very hard to get over it, but then with the side deck in particular in game 2 and game 3 I was able to do that. Game 2 was very rapid and high.
So well done, Lorenzo. We'll be seeing more of that golden Frieza deck in the coming rounds. Our next match is a semi-final to be held between North America and the Players' Champion. This is Brian Samuel facing off against Hayden Kausman.
You're now going up in the semi-finals against the People's Champion, also from the US, Hayden Kausman. What is your expectation for that match?
Man, I haven't actually had a chance to play him before, even though we're both in the United States. But I don't think we've ever crossed paths at events. I've seen his content. He's a great player. Innovator as far as making his deck. So I don't know what to expect.
And now you're going into the semi-finals. What are you expecting there? What's that going to be like for you?
He's a competitor on a lot of ways, and so I have no idea what he's bringing or anything like that. But I know my lines of plays. I know what I can do and what my deck does. So I'm just going to stick to that and see if it works out for me.
Brian, the North American representative, uses a Gotenks deck with powerful Unison synergies. Though normally unable to awaken at more than 4 life, once a Unison card with 2 or more markers hits the board, Gotenks can awaken as early as turn 2, putting opponents on a very quick clock. The Frieza deck that Hayden, the player's rep, brought to this tournament is a hand destruction deck that wants to sacrifice Frieza's loyal legions for advantage. Frieza's army can deploy from both the hand and drop area, making them nearly impossible to get rid of for good. Once the hand destruction engine gets going, you can almost hear Frieza cackling.
Good luck.
Alright, so this is another exciting match. This is between Brian, Samuel, and Hayden. We do have back-to-back with Semi Decks Gotenks, and as well as starter deck Frieza. It's going to be an interesting one.
A little bit more gas in my hand
a lot of cards and a lot of value, and Frieza wanting to take away all of that. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Absolutely, especially with Hayden being able to set up the healing pod in this semi-final match. Of course, creating very powerful loops that allow him to be able to do his card draw engine stuff alongside the hand destruction aspects of his deck. And here we can also see a very powerful loop of being able to kill off the Dodoria, bring back the Dodoria, draw a card, all of this forcing Brian to also lose cards out of his hands, putting Hayden in a really sweet advantage position in this game.
Yeah, and this is the thing, where we have the Frieza effect, the Frieza leader effect, putting into the drop, making him push a card, and then after it gets right back into the field, you draw a card for the healing pod effect, and then you take it right back from the drop area from the Doria effect after all the energy. It all just comes way too well together.
But nothing is said and done, and here we do see Brian Samuel setting up a phenomenal line that this deck can so consistently do by being able to awaken his leader, get out the Unison card, and have access to a ton of advantage in his own right. Though, I will say here, Hayden skillfully responded with the ability to take out the Goku before he can get all the value he can from it.
Yeah, that's a very smart play. The Goku requires something called a magical name, in which you have to pay that energy while it's on the board in order to get the additional effects. And if it's not on the board, then it's not going to be able to do that. But Brian doing something equally as effective, pushing down or paying energy for the card on that sand in order to make Hayden pitch 2 cards for anything that's just played skill that's significantly less.
Here in the mid-game situation, we see Hayden once more taking advantage of those healing pod loops, being able to combo Dodoria and Zarbon, where Zarbon needs a pitch to be able to play himself, and then from drop Dodoria's like, did I get pitched? Alright, sweet, then I'm coming on board. Really allowing this little advantage situation. But here Brian skillfully being able to mitigate the board by using his counter.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So many interactions, so many things going on, and both players just have so many answers to their own answers. But that Zarbon is coming right back onto the field after paying that 1 energy from the drop, and then pitching the card. But this is very interesting because now the Frieza effect is going to be in use in pitching the Dodoria in order to make Brian pitch another card from his hand.
And here though we have to see that hopefully Hayden can mitigate the Vegeta on the board, because as we've seen throughout this tournament, the ultimate on that Vegeta is absolutely backbreaking, forcing hand destruction, forcing life destruction, and if Brian here can successfully defend his Vegeta, he's going to be in a very good position.
Yeah, but with 6 markers, well actually 7, that's not a lot, because those who don't know, whenever you do attack successfully does damage, so they do use a marker. It's going to be 7 attacks or at least strikes for that. So now we're going into another phase of the game in order to see what we have, because now Brian has no energy to work with, while Brian has all the energy in the world. Let's see what happens there.
Absolutely. Like we were just alluding to, proc up the Vegito ability, forced Hayden to take a life, lose 3 cards. Now using Rubian's ability that for 2 energy, he's able to rip 2 more cards out of Hayden's hands. And here using the rolling unison to fish out another card, meaning that Hayden is in a very tough position of having no additional resources to be able to defend himself from a huge double strike machine that's about to come into play.
Yeah, and the tables have turned. Frieza really wants to do all of his hand destruction type deal here, but it looks like Brian has turned the tables and ripped all of his cards in his hand to swing with Dark Bully for aim. Double strike. Goodness, it is. Goodness sake, goodness, crazy thing.
A very good play indeed. High power ceiling, definitely setting up like Dark Bully has done many times over, and that cinches it for Brian, giving him that round 1 victory, and has also allowed Brian to take down Hayden in a game 2 situation, pushing Brian into the powerful finals. And that wraps up the semi-final match between both you North American representatives, Brian and Hayden. Brian taking it on top, not once, but twice with the Broly double strike unison. Huge back and forth in this game, Brian. What do you think of the overall matchup?
Well, I mean, with this matchup, it was, again, that battle between can I keep my hand high? And the answer was yes. And Hayden's answer to can I keep his hand low was definitely not. I think the hand advantage was really a big part of this game. It was also the swings between Gotenks as well as all the recursion from both decks. Hayden definitely did a pretty good job of looping out whatever he could, and as well as ripping cards that he could, but just couldn't pull one out. And I think that Dark Broly Unison, in the end of it, just kind of closed out a lot more than I think what Brian probably planned out to. It just ended up happening and made sure that he had that calculated win.
In the battle of attrition, it looks like card draw definitely outdoes the hand destruction aspects that Green has to put on the table. With that said, that concludes the North American semifinals of the Battle Hour Special Tournament 2021. And with that, we'll jump right back to you, Riley.
Brian, what was that match like for you?
Fortunately, I did not expect the leader that he played. It was actually a leader I'm very familiar with. I actually played the deck when it came out, which was the starter Frieza, green. It was a hand destruction kind of matchup. Fortunately for me, my deck is kind of built to be able to handle it, and I feel like Gotenks just, I call him the king of green, and I feel like Gotenks just kind of, every time it plays against a green deck, it just has, the resources to outlast him.
Do you happen to have any advice for a player who's just about to pick up the Dragon Ball card game?
I would say, first of all, just play what you like. I see a lot of people, just wanting to play the best thing right out of the gate, and I think that's fine for learning maybe the deeper aspects of the game, but part of the best thing about this game is that there's so many cool characters that Dragon Ball has part of it. So just choose your favorite character. It's if you like something, it's easier to learn about it. So make sure you like this game and then go from there. So.
Well done, Brian. His green Gotenks list has propelled him all the way to the final, but will it be enough? Next in the hopper, it is a semi-final match to be held between Latin America and Italy. Who will emerge victorious in this, our semi-final? Let's get underway.
Why do you love playing Dragon Ball Super?
It is nostalgia, my childhood in TCG, and when I get older and older, I'll be able to look back in time and say, hey, I was part of this big community, and I was able to make something out of it and feel proud of it.
What is your expectation going into that match?
I think that Jorge is a great player. I saw him playing before, and now I hope he brings an aggro deck so that it's the deck I prefer to game against.
Lorenzo is representing Italy with a golden Frieza deck. Frieza is all about sacrificing members of his army to reuse energy and fuel massive plays. Many cards can be played or returned from the drop area for built-in synergy with Golden Frieza's sacrificial tendency. South American representative Jorge is using a Vegex deck that can dump cards into the drop area. This isn't a downside, however, as many of these cards can be played straight from the drop area to overwhelm opponents. Jorge's goal is to assemble warriors from across the multiverse to break through the opponent's defenses.
Okay, just gonna... I can start, right?
Yeah. Welcome back, guys. Here we are in the semi-finals. We have Jorge playing Vegex, and we have Lorenzo playing Golden Frieza. It's really something like that in the quarterfinals. So comfortably to the semis, and let's see who's going to win. Here is going to be a game to game. Turn 1 for Vegex, already showing how powerful he can go, and let's just cards. How do you think this is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
This is really unclear because we are seeing a very aggressive deck against a very defensive deck. Because now we can see that one of the best turn 1 play has happened, which is just to slap down the Unison card. Now we skip into the middle of the match, and here we go. One of the best cards right now in the game, one of the best common cards in the game. It is going to be the Overrealm card, which is the Secret Identity Marseille. Yes, is it correct?
Yes, sorry, yes,
yeah, correct. To remove the threats on the opponent. Once again, the mechanics of Overrealm is to black card. It's exclusive to the black card. So instead of tapping the energy to play a battle card, it uses the drop area instead, right? So when you play the Overrealm card, you come with all this cool effect like to do this board control over at your opponent's 7.
Definitely, and like you said, Overrealm manipulates your discard to your walk as well. But here we see the Black Marseille, Secret Identity Marseille, sorry. Its effect is basically it walks up to an energy cost of 6 cards on the opponent's side of the field. So getting rid of it doesn't essentially walk, which makes it a bit more difficult for your opponent to use those cards, because again, they're not in the drop area, so they're technically out of the game. There's only a few cards that make it lower. So there, a great play by Lorenzo, allowing him to take control of the board. As you've seen, he's been able to walk a few cards and then attack a few cards as well. And Overrealm's ability is that at the end of the turn, that card goes to your board. So that's the balance there. So really well played by Lorenzo. Like I said, really for his board. So it's been a quite position him now. I wouldn't even say that he's now taking a bit more control.
Yeah, but oh no, you know, he was trying really hard to remove the Black Marseille, but unfortunately Jorge do have another Black Marseille on his hand, so he, you know, I would want to say that he is in a very good position, but now the other Black Marseille comes in, and with Black Marseille it is kind of like doing a little bit of problem for our Golden Frieza player, Lorenzo, because anything that's played by a skill, which is 15k or lower, your opponent has to pay a much higher cost. And here we go, we can see that Jorge has played the Haru card, which is an excellent value card to play against a yellow opponent. 3 cost 15k critical, helps to populate the drop area for Jorge for more setup play, but the card has an added bonus against the opponent leader, which is green and yellow, and you can untap more energy. But this is gonna be so bad for Jorge.
Definitely cold bloodlust again. Second one, basically on play of the card negates all effects. So here, like you said, Haru would have untapped 4 energy. allowing Jorge to extend his turn, but wasn't able to, unfortunately, because he just nullifies all the effects there. So he jumped forward just a little bit as well, and it's very different, allowing Lorenzo to take control of that whole bloodlust, just kind of ended Jorge's turn. But he's still going in, he's still trying to attack, he's still going in. We do also see that Jorge does have Champa in his hand, but Champa, which allows you to, when it's combo, one of your attacking cards gets double strike, so meaning instead of it taking one life, it's two life instead, so it's a great game ender there as well. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to use it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the issue over here is Jorge is tapped out, so no aggressive option, very limited defensive option, one card expertly play at the correct moment, just turn the whole game around. But over here we see Bardock's Awakened Instinct, once again another Overwhelm card, using black mechanics against black cards, black deck, so fighting fire with fire aiming. So a 320k swing that fixes your hand, one of the most important Overwhelm cards, choices in the card game available to Lorenzo. And so this is getting pretty interesting.
So here we are seeing that Lorenzo has got 4 in the guys on 2 attackers with attacking ability. These combos are double strike super combo which has best one of your opponent's cards. And here again, as I stated before, that the hard Lorenzo's ending one on his own as well. So as I stated before, instead of taking 1 damage, this now, the Frieza, this attack will now get 2 damage. So as you can see, Lorenzo Jorge only has 2 cards in his deck, so this is game 4 and Lorenzo's taking it. So congratulations to Lorenzo, and he will go straight to our finals. What a great set of games. Would you agree with that, Melvin? Like, it was just so good to watch.
I totally enjoy this game because it shows the contrasting of style, with Golden Frieza playing the more controlling style, whereas Vegex playing the more aggressive style. So these two styles are coming together to make such an exciting game. Congratulations to Lorenzo and good job from Jose. And so I'm really just excited to take a look at more matches. So back to you, Ryan.
How did that go down? So the first game, I think Lorenzo won. And what did you change between games?
He won with Celcino. Celcino is part that you don't expect it. I mean, you're thinking you might survive, and out of the sudden, Celcino comes in, quadruple strike, the death.
What was the semifinals like?
Yeah, it's been a difficult match, even that my deck was better than his, because I built, as I said, the deck before thinking about aggro decks, and I faced the most aggro deck of the moment, Vegex. So, and it was what I expected and what I built for.
Lorenzo Zanuti looking absolutely unstoppable as he advances to the final. You can see their path to victory as we examine the bracket and see the foe that they have laid waste to as they have wrought a trail of destruction through this event. But one match remains, and it's going to be our great pleasure to bring you the coverage which we hope you'll be tuning in. On behalf of the entire coverage team for today's broadcast, thanks so much for being with us. My name's Riley Knight, signing off for today. We'll see you back here soon to crown a champion.